Mhm. All right, all right, all right. Let me know, guys, if you can hear me, and we'll get started. Let me see if my voice is going through. Let's see. All right, I'm there. I'll wait for someone to join, and then we'll get started. Can you guys hear me? All right, thank you, guys. Thanks for joining. And today is a good topic, right? Whoever likes to lift weights, it's going to be fun conversation. A lot of fitness myths are going to be broken today. So if you like lifting weights, this is the forum for you. This is the call for you. So let me know, guys, from where are you joining? It's it's just fun to see people joining from far off places, right? The world is too small now. So would love to see from where are you guys joining? What are your goals from weightlifting perspective? Are you lifting weights? You're just learning about it, or whatever is going on, guys? Just share, and then we'll get started in a couple of minutes. We are just giving 2 more minutes if somebody would like to join. And yeah, so I think just sharing my day was going good, and did a good weightlifting session in the morning. And the morning workouts are really good, guys. If you guys might have experienced it, right? The day starts with a bang, right? If you're working out in the morning, you get done with so many things. And if you're waiting for your workouts till afternoon, evening, it's really difficult to catch up, right? It's something to get over with first thing in the morning. That works well for me, and a lot of more people I have worked with, they like the morning workouts. And the more consistent crowd, right? People who are coming to the gym is the morning crowd. They just come. They just keep coming, keep showing up. The more inconsistent crowd is the evening crowd, right? After job, you're tired, you may go to the gym or you may not go to the gym. So it all depends. So if you want consistency with your workouts, be a morning person. Finish your workouts in 25, 30 minutes in the morning, and move on with the day, right? The day is going to be great. The day is going to be very, very different from other days. So so that being said, guys, I think we are 4 or 5 minutes over, so I'll get started. So today's topic that we are looking over is 5 things nobody tells you about lifting weights. If you are lifting weights, you might have heard all these things everywhere, right? And you might still be confused, or you might still not have those answers that are these facts, are these actually facts, or these are just myths and people are just making a lot of noise, right? So those are few things that we are going to discuss specifically for weight training, resistance training, right? So the first thing that I'm going to discuss is a lot of things, and I used to believe this like 10 years back, that one thing that muscle turns to fat. This is completely false. Okay, muscle will not turn to fat if you stop lifting. That's actually scientifically impossible to happen. Fat cannot turn into muscle and vice versa. Fat is actually broken down into lipids, whereas the muscle is attached to your bones. They are two completely different things. I don't know where this idea of like turning muscle to fat comes from. It's I think what you I think people have seen bodybuilders who used to eat like around 5,000 calories when they are in their prime health and they're working out, doing cardio. And then when they leave gym and everything, they get a little bit old. They get all like the belly, and they have chest fat, and they just tend to have a lot of fat on their body. It doesn't mean that their muscle has converted to fat. It just means that they have a habit of eating more, right? So when they left their weight training and they left their cardio, still they are eating 5,000 calories, right? If that happens, they are still losing muscles, but they've started putting on fat. It's just their activity has minimized. They are not doing anything much, but they are still eating those high calories, right? So more calories in, and there's not nothing much out. That's where that's where they are gaining fat. It's not their muscles turning to fat, right? It just cannot happen. And it's on the other ways, it's also the same, right? If a person who is very fat starts to weight train for a year, for 2 years, he's packing muscles, right? And he's shedding fat, right? It doesn't mean that fat converted to muscles. It's impossible, as I told you, right? So just don't believe that. Muscles, you can build muscles only when you are eating enough protein and doing enough weight training or resistance training up to a certain amount of failure, right? If you're not doing it, you're not going to put any muscles. That's very simple. And if you're eating more calories, you're going to put fat. But conversion of fat to muscle, or fat muscle to fat, is actually impossible. Okay, so it's never going to happen. If you left weight training, you have to just minimize your calorie intake. That's going to take care of your fat. Okay. The second thing is that lifting heavy is the only way to look big. Okay, this is completely false. You don't need to lift very, very heavy weight to look big and to get shredded or to get ripped, right? Or to be in a good shape. That's a completely misconception. A lot of people on the internet and everybody says that you have to lift heavy all the time, every time. Then only you are going to manage your muscle mass, or you are going to grow big. That's actually not true. Okay. So what happens is this. Actually, you have to keep phasing your workouts. You have to keep changing your workout routines with your lifestyle. Okay. So if you feel there is a certain period when you are like very busy, stressed out in your work, you have to modify your workout routines to be like 2 to 3 days workout routines, which will be like 30 minutes each workout routine. Okay. And the routines will be structured so that they are not putting a lot of stress on your joints, on your muscles, right? They will be kind of I would say rep ranges of 12 to 15 rep ranges every set. And you will be okay in that. And you don't have to go to failure because your body is stressed out, your mind is stressed out because of your job and everything, right? So your workouts have to be structured in that way. Then there's a certain period in your life where you're not that stressed out, right? It may be some holiday season or something like that where you have enough time. That is the time where you can push your limits in gym. Okay, you can work out more, you can do workouts for 4 to 5 days, you can lift very, very heavy, and that will be the time to put more stress on your muscles with the rep ranges of like, let's say, 5 to 8. Your body, your muscles will be too stressed out, and that's where they will grow even more, right? But that kind of routine you cannot do the entire year. If you When you are stressed out and you are putting lot of, and you're lifting heavy every time, even when you're in your job and you're working out and you have long job hours, your body is not going to grow, right? So basically my point is lifting heavy is not the only way. We have to change our workout routines according to what kind of stress you have in your life. If you become that smart to adjust your workouts according to your lifestyle, your muscles are going to grow irrespective of what routine you have. Sometimes you're going to have your rep ranges from 12 to 15, sometimes 8 to 10, sometimes 5 to 6, but it's going to be dependent on your stress in your life. Okay, so you have to be smart to figure out that today is not the, or these months are not the right months to stress my muscles out with heavier load. Okay, so that's one point. Another point is that you need to know is that weightlifting improves your cardiovascular health, right? So it will improve your heart health. A lot of people believe that okay, weight training, it's not for heart, so we need to do something like cardio, like for 45 minutes, so that we can keep our heart healthy and our cardiovascular health healthy. But Any form of exercise will cause your blood vessels to vasodilate, or I mean widen, okay, which provides more blood to the muscle and works the heart. So it doesn't matter what exercise it is actually, okay. You can do cardio with weights as part of circuit training. So weightlifting and cardiovascular health are not mutually exclusive. After any tough session, you should be able to find your pulse and know that you have worked hard, okay. So a hard workout will raise your heart rate. It's a complete myth that weightlifting will not improve your heart health and you have to do cardio. So avoid that. Cardio is not required. Even weightlifting can do the same trick. Okay. Next thing nobody tells you, or you may not know, that weightlifting never makes you bulky. A lot of people come to me when I'm working with them initially, and they ask me that our workouts are like full body and I'm seeing a lot of growth. Am I going to become bulky? When they say bulky, they are saying that am I going to put on a lot of muscle mass, something like big bodybuilders, right? It may be Arnold or some other actor. So it's not going to happen. And the reason being, we are all naturals. Natural folks cannot grow that big. First of all, that's that's the reason. Okay. Now, even if you believe that natural folks without taking any artificial hormones can grow big, now for that, what you have to do is sleep for 9 to 10 hours. Okay. You don't need to have any stress in your life, no jobs. You're just doing workouts for like 2 to 3 hours, and then you are eating, sleeping, working out, then again repeating the sessions, repeating the cycle. But it's not possible in our life. If it's not possible, you're not going to grow too big. You're not going to grow too bulky. It's nearly impossible unless you have God genes or you have some extraordinary genes. You cannot grow too big or too bulky, or you cannot have too much muscle mass. It's just not possible, right? It's only possible with this routine I just told you, or with a routine where you are taking some artificial hormones or testosterone, right? Yeah, that's very much possible once you are taking that, but you will never become bulky. That's just nearly impossible. Another thing is, which leads me to another good point, right? A lot of people come to me again with with a different question, but it's regarding flexibility. They say we are doing weight training, and am I going to lose my flexibility? So my answer is weightlifting improves and is best for your flexibility. When I refer to flexibility, right, it's the ease with which your joints move through their complete range of motion, right? So if I want to move my hands to the top, I move it to the top completely, extend the joint, and do it similarly when I'm moving down, like similar like overhead press. If I'm doing, I can do that without any pain. I have good range of motion, right? And this is, I'm very flexible. Okay. So so what I mean to say is some people are naturally more flexible than others, though stretching and certain exercises like yoga, etc., will improve your flexibility. But I definitely recommend mobility exercises and weight training for your flexibility. While it's commonly assumed that weightlifting is bad for flexibility, like because bigger muscles may impinge on your range of motion, right? The truth is, your full range resistance training can actually improve flexibility, perhaps even better than the stretching. Okay. So, for example, if you're doing bench press and you are not bringing the rod completely to your chest and completely contracting and completely expanding your chest, you're not going through full range of motion. So, if you're doing, I have seen a lot of people in the gym doing bench press just half the way they do it, and they just lift the um, barbell. So they are not going through the complete range of motion, moving the barbell slowly till their chest and just pushing them completely. So if you're doing that complete range of motion, then your muscle is free and is flexible. Your chest muscles can move through all the through the complete range of motion, and they are completely flexible for whatever you need to do. If you're not moving through the complete range of motion, you will be inflexible, right? So it's if you are doing resistance training in a wrong way through incomplete range of motion, you will be inflexible. Okay. So always remember, if you're doing weight training, you have to move weights slow, and you have to go through complete range of motion in whatever exercise you are doing. If you are doing these things, you are going to be flexible. Another set of exercises that I recommend is mobility exercises to train your joints. Because after a certain age, if you are not training your joints forget to move in a certain way. Okay, if they forget to move in a certain way, they will not be flexible. Okay, can I move my hands back? How far I can move my hands back will depend on, am I doing my shoulder dislocation? Am I training my deltoid joints and my shoulder joints with the mobility exercise? If I'm not doing that, then your body is going to forget that range of motion in that particular plane. So my question is, always perform resistance training and always train your joints in a way that your body is flexible. So it depends on with whom, with which personal trainer you are working, but he should have that sufficient knowledge of how the joints work and how should can we keep them healthy, how can we train them in different planes and not on a single plane. So based on that, guys, I think your routines, it'll depend your flexibility, but weight training is the best form of exercise for your flexibility. So perform that. So all the 5 points, I'll again go through what I went through. The first one was that muscle will not turn to fat if you stop lifting. It's just impossible, and vice versa. Okay, and fat cannot turn to muscle. It's never going to happen. The second thing I discussed is lifting heavy is not the only way to look big. How much you are lifting depends on how much stress you have in your life. If in your life the stress is minimal, lift heavy with rep ranges of 3 to 6. If in your life the stress is too much, lift a little light. Rep ranges should be 12 to 16. Even then, your body will grow because you are not lifting that heavy and you are recovering well. Okay, so it depends. It depends on your lifestyle. Third point that we discussed is weightlifting improves your heart health, cardiovascular health. So there is no need to worry about doing a lot of cardio and saying that the weightlifting is not going to work on that. It's completely false. If you are doing intense workouts, it's going to train your heart as well. So don't depend on cardio for that. Another point that I said is weightlifting never makes you bulky. Okay, bulky means will you pack a lot of muscle mass? It's not going to happen unless you are a genetic god, or you have genetics like a big bodybuilders, or you are taking some artificial hormones. You are never going to be bulky. You are never going to pack a lot of muscle mass. Okay, and the only way you can do is again 9 to 10 hours of sleep, then work out for 2 to 3 hours, then sleep, then eat, then sleep, then eat. If you're doing that, yeah, maybe one day you can achieve that in maybe 4, 5, 10 years. But I doubt that that's going to happen. Stress is going to be there in your life. Okay. And then the last point that we did discuss is that weight lifting is good for your flexibility. People who say that it's not good for your flexibility, don't trust them. Okay, if that's your personal trainer, fire the trainer today, because flexibility is taking your joints through different ranges of motion through different planes, and you can do that only when you are training that joint in that plane. When you are doing certain exercises of those joints, mobility exercises, or if you are moving the weight through that range of motion. Okay, so if you are doing shoulder press or overhead press, if you're just moving your weight like this, like through the half ranges of motion, obviously your joint doesn't know how to go from this to this, right? It doesn't know how to go through full ranges of motion for the overhead press. So you need to do all your exercises through full ranges of motion. That will keep your joints healthy, flexible, and weight training is designed for flexibility, will make your body very flexible, and you don't need to depend on other forms of exercises for flexibility. So that being said, guys, I think look into this, that weightlifting is one of the best form of exercises, whether it's flexibility, whether to train your metabolism, whether to grow your muscle mass, keep your muscle mass. And it's one form of exercises. If somebody starts doing in their 20s, 30s, you will reap benefits in your 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, and you will end up living on average 20 years more than other person, as well as your next 40, 50 years will be better than other person. Okay. So I'm not sure why people are not starting. I would say yesterday was a good time to start. And if not, I think you have to start doing resistance training today. And that's it, guys. I'll see you another, I think at the same time, 8 p.m. next week. Till then, stay healthy, stay fit. Let me know if you have any questions, and start training. Okay, I have a question. Okay, so when stressing, lift lighter. Is that just for the day that I'm stressing? For the whole week, I weight train 3 times a week. Yeah, that's so what I mean to say, right? It again depends. There's a certain, for example, there's a certain period in my job or in my business where I know that this month is going to be very stressed out, or if I'm starting something new, it's going to be stressed out. So I reduce my number of sets sometimes. Sometimes I reduce the weight. So you can do anything, or let's say is that it's only for that particular day. Okay. So if it's just for that particular day, just reduce. You can do two things, right? You can either reduce, if you're doing 3 sets for one exercise, do 2 sets of that exercise. For all the exercises, reduce 1 set. Okay. So that's one way you can achieve it. The other way you can achieve it is reduce the weight to like 65% to 70% of what you lift and do more reps. So these are two different ways of kind of a deloading. Do it for that day. Okay, if you know that this is just one day I'm stressed out and it's difficult, just deload for that day. But what I generally do is, if I feel that because my if I'm stressed out for one day, it carries over for multiple days, 2 to 3 to 4 days. It normally doesn't stay for just one day, right? If I didn't sleep for one day, sometimes it propagates to another day. So I just deload the whole week. The whole week I just cut off one of the set, or I just reduce the weights and increase the reps, right? So you can take either or approach. There's nothing right or wrong. The only wrong thing is, don't lift heavy the days you're stressed out. Because if your body is stressed out, it's you're not going to build muscles. It's just you are putting extra stress on your joints and muscles, and they are not going to recover. Okay, so take it easy when you're stressed out. It's that's the basic. Any other questions, guys? it's it's simple, but it's hard to implement because it requires a science kind of. You need to have some kind of a science research mind to know your body, that what needs to be done in what scenario. But you learn about your body as you're working out for a year, for 2 years. You just try to figure out, okay, this is not the right time to push my body. Okay, and sometimes, a lot of times, your ego also comes that I have to push more, I have to push more. When that's happening, just be aware. Yeah, you don't need to push, because if you get got injured, you're not going to come to gym for the next couple of weeks. So why to get injured, right? So this is the time a lot of people get injured, when they are stressed out in their life and they still want to push in the gym. That's the time your joints give up. Okay. And so, guys, remember all these points. And if you just missed the session, just see the recording. But it was good to mention. I think few folks just joined. Anybody would like quick summary, or you will look at the recording? Just let me know. If any one of you wants quick summary, I'll just give you quick summary here. Otherwise, you can look at the recording. All right. So, all right, guys. We'll talk to you again next week, the same time, with a Wednesday, 8 p.m. EST. Till then, take care, stay healthy, and start weight training. Don't delay. Today is the right time.